start with our first real experience in the pit, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to be part of. This is a special place, and walking down the ramp, jump ball going up. I think everybody in our room had goosebumps for that, and so that was fun to experience. We're looking forward to building on that, and I thought our guys set the tone defensively to start the game, and we kind of went from there, but had some guys with some good performances, did some good things, lots of stuff to work out. So, yeah, overall, really great first time out for us.
First half defense, especially as you already alluded to, what was it that was working so well? They had 12 first half turnovers. They were held to 20% shooting in the first half. What was it that did all that?
I thought we were pretty connected. Our communication was good. We controlled the ball pretty well. I think deep into the first half, they had their 2 baskets were transition opportunities off of turnovers. So for the most part, I thought we did a nice job of keeping the ball out of the paint and getting shots contested. They had some looks, but I thought for the most part everything was pretty difficult for them.
And in this era of college basketball with the transfer portal, coaches still kind of use this theme of we want to get old, we want to get old. You had 3 freshmen, 2 lead the way in scoring, 14 points apiece with Jake and Uriah. And then I know Tomislav isn't a traditional freshman, but it was his first college game. He had 15 rebounds and 8 points. So your 3 freshmen kind of led the way tonight. How unique is that your freshmen playing their first college games had such an impact on their first game in the pit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think everybody's got impact freshmen on their roster this day and age, and we're not worried necessarily about age as much as are they a good player, are they the right mentality and approach to the game, do they fit what we're trying to do? I think that it's nice to have a balance. I think we have some older guys as well who are playing good basketball. So I like the way our team complements each other, and I'm confident we're going to continue to improve throughout.
And then that defense, while as good as it was, they missed their first 6 shots in the second half. But from after those first 6 shots, they did pretty well. They had 40 points. Their total percentage ended up being just fine because of that second half. I'm curious what kind of happened where the defense let up in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at the film to see exactly where some of the breakdowns came. But we did have more breakdowns in the second half. They had some shots go that we're probably okay with, and they made them. And sometimes shooting can be a little contagious. So once they sort of got one to go, I think Zero got going a little bit, and he's not someone that has shot the ball well in the past. So some of it is just flow of the game, and other stuff or breakdowns on our part that we'll have to look at and correct.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. To Javis and Uriah really led the way for the bench. What's your thoughts on those guys' performance tonight?
Yeah, I thought they both played really well.
And on top of that as well, your team was facilitating the ball. I felt like everybody was touching the rock. What's your thoughts on the way your team was able to facilitate tonight? I
thought there were times when that happened and we had really good movement, and every time that we did, I thought our shot quality was pretty good. East Texas A&M is pretty aggressive defensively, and they switch everything and deny some stuff. So there were times when we had some trouble creating the ball movement, and guys had to make some individual plays and with some mixed results. But some of that was us getting a little stagnant, maybe not executing the way we need to, and some of that was stylistic from them defensively.
Coach, comments on your field goal percentage at 43%. Your 3-point was 40%, and free throws were 60.9%. Pretty typical of your team. A lot of scoring from different players.
I think we have a balanced team. We would like to be more efficient in terms of how we score the basketball. Thought we had some good chances around the rim that we'll make. I think we're going to be a pretty good free throw shooting team, so that's not a concern for me at this point. But yeah, I'd like to be more efficient. But yeah, I also think like there's going to be a lot of nights where we have a pretty balanced group in terms of who's scoring.
It seems like every team needs an enforcer, a guy that's going to go get the rebound when you need that. Tomislav seemed to step up and become that guy tonight. He had a lot of rebounds. He's the guy that's going to crash the boards. Is that the player you want him to be?
Yeah, I thought he did really well tonight. Again, some of that is reactionary to how the other team is playing, so they were switching a lot. So he was inside quite a bit. I think he's a good basketball player who has a lot to his game. Like, he can put it on the floor, he can pass. He had some good, like, they kind of swarmed him a few times and he threw it out, and we got some good looks out of it. So yeah, I thought he was really impactful, but specifically around the basket versus some of the switches.
And then when the offense doesn't click, it obviously went well tonight, but when it doesn't click, is this team to the point where you can settle in on defense and know that your defense can carry you through certain stretches?
I think where we are from an offensive execution standpoint, we're going to rely on the defense here right now. I think it's ahead of the offense at this stage, which isn't a huge surprise. But I think as we clean things up offensively, we'd like to be complementary. We'd like to take care of the ball a little better and limit some of the transition where they're able to get some points, and then we'd like to maybe be even more disruptive ourselves, where we can turn some defense into offense. So I think there's a lot of room for growth on both sides of the ball.
I remember Paul Weir's first game as a head coach in here. I saw him in the ramp before that, his first game. He was a nervous wreck. I saw you before the first few minutes. You seemed just fine. You were just completely at ease. Were you actually feeling that way before the game?
I mean, I would internally describe myself as a nervous wreck before all games, but also, I kind of touched on it in the opening, but like, this is a special place, and first time out for regular season, this environment, like, I did kind of consciously try to enjoy that early part of the game and the experience of having the first one here, and you only get one first time, so I was conscious to try to appreciate that, and but yeah, I share that nervous feeling before every game, I think, and that back every time, right? Like, I can, I don't know how many I've done, but I don't think it ever changes.
Coach Will basically asked what I was going to ask, but as far as having a team of all new guys, were you expecting the defense to come around this soon in the first game, and how would you compare it to some of the experienced teams that you've had in the past?
It's different. I mean, I haven't had a team where everybody's new, so like, that experience for myself and all the players and everyone on the staff is kind of new. But honestly, like, going into the exhibitions early here, we felt like we were in a pretty good place offensively relative to how we're playing in practice, how we're shooting the ball in practice, and frankly had a few more concerns going into the first one on the defensive side, and that's been flipped a little bit. Some of that is just playing against different, right? You kind of learn all you can in practice, and then you play against different schemes and different teams and different things like that. And so our adjustment period is ongoing. But the effort and the motor that guys are playing with on the defensive end is a big part of it. Like, we're not perfect and all that, but they're covering up for some of it by just kind of flying around and making some plays. So yeah, it's been good. I'm excited about where we are defensively, because I know how much we're going to get better throughout the season. So if this is where we are now, I'm pretty encouraged about where we can go. And offensively, I got a lot of confidence in these guys that they're going to figure it out.
So I know you've obviously had the two exhibitions, but I mean, with this being your first like true game, I'm just curious how you thought the game flow went from like a in-game coaching perspective, just substitutions, timeouts, drawn up plays, that kind of stuff. How was that kind of game flow for you?
It mostly pretty good. We had some rotation stuff that didn't work out exactly the way we thought, and that's my fault and a couple of miscommunications. But generally, it was fine. Not a ton of drawing stuff up on the board relative to how they played defensively. It's kind of hard to have anything that's kind of long developing against that style of defense. So we were a little more just trying to get our feet in the paint, share the basketball.
So you're back in here in less than 72 hours. Just one, how excited are you to get back in the gym and perform in front of the pit again? And then two, just kind of how do you plan to manage these tight turnarounds?
Yeah, I thought our guys did a really good job with the preparation. Our staff does a great job with the scouting reports and the feedback for them based on what we're watching on film. So we try to be really consistent in that approach, but we think that's an important part of defensive execution specifically, but both sides of the ball is being focused in the preparation and then taking that preparation and applying it to the floor. And I thought we did that really well in the first half, which allowed us to create a little separation.
Coach, what can you say about Uriah Tennette? 5 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3 points land, and 5 assists and 3 steals. Had a nice performance tonight. What can you say about that?
Yeah, I thought Uriah played well. He's a good player. We expect him to impact the game when he's out there, and I thought he did that tonight for sure. We'll watch film with him like we talked about. There's some plays I can think of that I know he'd like to have back, but for his first time out to have an impact like that, and I loved his aggression. I thought he was able to, again, versus a lot of the switching, he was able to get his feet in the paint pretty much at will and made some plays obviously for himself. But the 5 assists, 1 turnover, 3 steals, those are impactful numbers for him. And so, yeah, he did a great job.
I got one more. I want to do a quick follow-up to Uriah. His dad actually came up, and Will and I were at press row, and he was just saying he wanted Uriah to dunk that. Like there's one that he didn't dunk in the first half, or try and dunk, and he said he needs to dunk that. Are you surprised at all when you see Uriah at 5'11", actually when he did try and dunk multiple times in the second half, and he's just jumping at these 6'8" guys?
Nobody that watches Uriah every day in practice is surprised by the stuff he's doing. We see that stuff all the time, and all the fans that came to the Lobo Howl and saw the dunk contest, and he's an explosive athlete, and he's going to make some plays above the rim for sure.
All right, so 8 3-pointers and 19 twos. Is this a team that shoots too many twos?
No, that's a great question. I thought we did a nice job tonight of taking what they gave us. We'd like to be a little more efficient on the twos, but if they're going to switch that amount and kind of pressure the ball, like we're gonna drive it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.